Engines die mid-cycle in Guanajuato as alarms echo through the plant. Forklifts idle, shipments vanish, and supervisors stare at screens flashing a single update, 50% tariffs on China-made cars. But here's the twist, those cars aren't Chinese, they're American. Bloomberg says nearly two-thirds of GM's best-selling models in Mexico are built in China. Now they're stranded at port, unsellable overnight. In one stroke, Mexico's new trade war just turned its guns on Detroit. Proof that this time, America's biggest automakers are the ones getting crushed by their own supply chain. Mexico's existing average import tariff sits near 16%, but Bloomberg confirmed the new decree lifts vehicle duties to 50% and raises levies on metals, plastics, and electronics above 40%, covering more than 1,400 product categories that sustain Mexico's export engine. President Claudia Sheinbaum told local journalists that the decision defends domestic industry and was drafted independently of Washington. Yet, an internal economy ministry memo obtained by the Wall Street Journal indicated that most of the immediate pressure came not from Beijing's dominance, but from U.S. automakers now trapped in the crossfire. Data compiled by S&P Global Mobility show that Mexico imported roughly 322,000 Chinese-built cars in 2024, a 62% annual jump that made China its top source of passenger vehicles. Those numbers positioned Chinese brands, BYD, Chery, SAIC, as the fastest growing in the market, selling 1 of every 5 cars nationwide. The journal added that their pricing, often under $25,000, reshaped consumer expectations in a country where the average new car cost is $32,000 and household income remains below $1,100 a month. General Motors' Mexican portfolio exposes the contradiction most clearly. The company's Chevrolet Onix and Aveo, both assembled in China, account for nearly 65% of GM Mexico's unit sales. When Reuters analysts modeled the tariff impact, they estimated those vehicles would leap by more than $5,000 each, erasing affordability in Mexico's price-sensitive segment. Banco-based economists told El Financiero that even a 10% rise in sticker prices can shrink auto demand 8 to 10%. A 50% import tax could decimate entire lines. Investment data confirm the chill. Within just 2 days of the announcement, the Mexico-China Chamber of Commerce recorded a 27% drop in pending projects for auto, metallurgy, and plastics. Bloomberg Intelligence noted that BYD immediately froze its planned $600 million assembly complex in Puebla. Meanwhile, Reuters tracked multiple mid-tier manufacturers, one toy producer, one electronics supplier already shifting to Vietnam. For U.S. firms, those withdrawals translate to lost parts pipelines. The U.S. International Trade Commission reported in 2024 that roughly 42% of components used by American automakers operating in Mexico originate in Asia, mostly China. That includes essential wiring harnesses, steel stampings, and battery modules. Ford's Cuautitlán EV facility, designed to supply U.S. dealers, imports e-axles and controller units from Guangzhou, shipments now taxed at the full tariff rate. Because the USMCA's rules of origin require 75% North American content for duty-free status, those added Chinese parts can disqualify finished vehicles from entering the U.S. tariff-free. Bloomberg Economics calculated that U.S. dealers received $48.7 billion in Mexican-assembled cars in 2024, roughly 23% of America's new vehicle supply. The U.S. Census Bureau's data show that those exports depend on 600 registered Mexican parts suppliers, yet fewer than 60 meet U.S. emissions and safety certification. That capacity gap means tariffs on Chinese inputs immediately spill into U.S. factory downtime. Inside Mexico's Palacio Nacional, Finance Minister Rogelio Ramirez de la O described the move to Reuters as a buffer against dumping. But the Bank of Mexico's internal model, seen by the Financial Times, projects consumer price inflation rising 0.6 percentage points within 6 months and household purchasing power falling 2%. Such figures imply that the protection may burden domestic consumers more than foreign rivals. When China's Ministry of Commerce responded, the FT quoted officials accusing Mexico of succumbing to external pressure. Sheinbaum denied coordination with the White House, telling the Associated Press that Mexico decides for itself. Still, timing raised suspicion. The tariff draft circulated less than a month after President Trump's Trade Council urged allies to close secondary corridors for Chinese autos. Congressional politics soon complicated the picture. Lawmakers from Nuevo León, where Tesla and GM employ 50,000 workers, warned in committee hearings, reported by Reuters on October 2nd, that the tariff could trigger immediate layoffs. The Economy Ministry floated a phased introduction over 3 years to prevent recession, but protectionist factions within Sheinbaum's coalition dismissed that plan as appeasement. The revelation reframed the argument. If Mexico is the front line of China's auto expansion, then the tariff fight is not local protectionism, but an experiment in decoupling. BBVA research economists estimated that maintaining a 50% tariff could widen Mexico's trade deficit by $6 billion within a year as import prices outpace substitution. The United Nations Comtrade database later detected a 40% surge in Vietnamese-labeled auto parts shipments to Mexico between July and September 2025, suggesting rerouting of Chinese goods through Southeast Asia. Brookings analysts reviewing earlier U.S. tariff rounds had warned of identical circumvention patterns in 2023. The Dallas Federal Reserve quantified the exposure. Chinese companies represent only 3% of Mexico's auto parts producers by number, but nearly 45% of the sector's foreign investment value. If half withdraw, Dallas Fed researchers project cascading insolvencies among domestic subcontractors dependent on their credit lines. Mexico's National Auto Industry Association told El Economista that local plants cannot instantly replace foreign tooling, emphasizing a potential collapse in Tier 3 supply. In Washington, the American Automotive Policy Council circulated a brief showing that 14% of U.S. dealer inventory originates from Mexican plants using Chinese content. The memo, confirmed by the Wall Street Journal, warned that a 50% duty could erode margins on North American production and compress U.S. dealership profitability. Financial markets echoed the anxiety. Bloomberg's currency desk recorded the peso down 3.2% against the dollar in the week following the decree, the sharpest drop since 2020. Credit Suisse downgraded Mexican manufacturing bonds, citing policy incoherence risk. Inside the cabinet, according to FT correspondents, economic ministers split. Industrialists urged tariffs to foster local EV startups. The central bank cautioned that foreign direct investment was already shrinking. UNCTAD's latest monitor confirmed inflows down 12% year-on-year in August 2025, largely due to retreating Chinese and Korean investors. For U.S. automakers, each variable just compounds. GM's Chinese-sourced Onix loses its price edge. Ford's compact SUV line delays launch, and Stellantis cancels a Jeep crossover plan. Mexico's Ministry of Finance conceded in a public note that full implementation could trim 0.7% from national GDP, an IMF figure echoed in its 2025 Article 4 consultation. In October, congressional negotiators drafted a tiered tariff ladder: 25% for EVs, 35% for hybrids, 50% for combustion models. Economists interviewed by the Financial Times called the plan, quote, a distortion that invites reclassification rather than innovation. Meanwhile, Bloomberg's agricultural desk reported that Beijing was weighing counter tariffs on Mexican corned beef and avocados, exports worth $5 billion annually. Retaliation would strike rural states that anchor Sheinbaum's political coalition, forcing a choice between urban industry and farm constituencies. Back in Detroit, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told the Wall Street Journal that, quote, global trade discipline must return. Markets read it as endorsement of Mexico's clampdown, yet GM shares fell 4.6%, Ford 3.9%, and Stellantis 5.2% that same day, investors clearly doubting that protectionism secures supply chains. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce released a statement urging Washington and Mexico City to coordinate tariff timing to, quote, avoid collateral damage to integrated manufacturing. Neither capital responded. By early October, Bloomberg shipping data showed Chinese car imports through Veracruz down 28% week on week. Dealers slashed inventory, while logistics firms rerouted cargo toward Brazil and Chile. Consumers rushed to buy before duties took effect. Within days, showrooms emptied. November's legislative session brought another twist. The Senate's Economic Affairs Committee inserted an amendment exempting U.S.-owned factories that import Chinese subassemblies from the full tariff. Opposition legislators denounced it as a corporate carve-out, while Reuters noted that Wall Street reacted with brief relief before skepticism returned. As debate dragged overnight, union leaders in the gallery demanded job guarantees. Dealers begged for a delay. By dawn, voting was postponed again, but Fitch Ratings announced it was reviewing Mexico's sovereign outlook for potential downgrade, a sign that policy confusion now carried global credit consequences. AMIA, Mexico's main auto association, forecast output down 12% for 2026 if tariffs persist, equating to 340,000 fewer vehicles. The finance ministry's own projection showed GDP growth slipping below 1%. Bloomberg's analysts concluded that the short-term winners are none. When Sheinbaum finally addressed the nation, she declared that Mexico will not serve as a transit corridor for unfair trade. Behind her, digital screens displayed export data confirming that 87% of Mexico's light vehicle exports still head to the United States. Even sympathetic papers like El Universal noted the contradiction. A policy framed as sovereignty now jeopardized the very U.S. partnerships sustaining Mexican factories. Detroit executives stayed silent, waiting for clarity. Ford's CFO, speaking anonymously to the Wall Street Journal, said the company was preparing repatriation contingencies that could cost billions in new plant investments. By year-end, statistics painted the result with no slogans attached. Chinese car imports to Mexico down 55%. U.S. automaker margins in Mexico down 18%, retail prices up 12%, employment in auto assembly down 6%. Every line of data, from Bloomberg terminals to IMF dashboards, traced the same inversion. The blow aimed at Beijing had landed in Michigan and Monterey alike. And as assembly lines flicker back to life under emergency contracts, a final question cuts through the diesel haze. In trying to wall off China, has Mexico just rewritten who actually builds the American car? We're glad you're enjoying this video. Please like and subscribe. Check out another video that is now on your screen.